Alright guys, real quick before we even get started, I want to show you what's happening here. So on the left side I've got Intel Power Gadget running, and in the middle I have XMRig 6.11.2 running. And you can see right before I started this video, so I started the video at 2043, I was getting 1700 hash per second, which is pretty good. But look how quickly it dropped off. I was getting 1700 and now I'm at 700 in my first column here, my 10-second hash per second. So if I now do my hash rate, I'm getting terrible numbers, basically cut in half. So you can see up here I was getting 285 per thread. Now I'm getting 138, and I'm getting like 827. And this is because this particular machine has a built-in graphics card. So this is the Intel, let's just pull up the spec sheet here. Intel Core i7-9750H with a 12 megabyte cache, and that's the critical piece, because I had thought that I would be able to get 12 cores coming off of this going to XMRig, but I can't because we have 6 cores. I thought I could get 12 threads rather, but I can only get 6 threads, and that's because of the L3 cache. The L3 cache only being 12. Always take your cache and divide it by 2, and that's how many threads you're going to get out of XMRig. So I was pretty disappointed by that, but I was especially surprised when I started recording QuickTime and I saw my hash rate drop so much. So if I was going to stop QuickTime right now, it would dramatically increase. But you can see it's not doing very well right now. 800 when I was getting 1700 before, and I was expecting to get double that 1700 because I thought I was going to get 12 threads. Also, real quick, I'm using max fan control, which is nice because I can turn down the fans to a constant value rather than have them run full blast. And then up here I'm using menu meters so that I can kind of see distribution across the threads as far as CPU usage. So that's what that looks like. These are the specs on that processor. You can't just go out and buy this processor. This is basically a laptop processor. It's a good processor. It came out in 2019, Q2 2019. It's for mobile devices. It's a nice processor, except for this 12 megabyte cache is terrible as far as XMRig goes. So you're not going to get a good hash rate out of this particular machine. And I recommend going to support XMR pool, and the chat here is great. You can get a lot of entropy and name envy. Some of these guys on here are always in this chat, always helping newbies. You know, even somebody like myself that's only been doing it for a few months, and I run into questions, or I have questions that I bounce off of them, and they're always very helpful, and they get you on the right track. So I recommend supportxmr.com as a good pool. So if we just take a look at this benchmark, so if you go to xmrig.com/benchmark and you select Intel, and then if we go select this chip, so let's just copy it, 9750H. So if we select 9750H, there it is. I think this means we have 42 submissions over here. It's coming in at number 226 on the chart. So somehow, some way, in ways that I don't quite understand, people are getting some pretty decent hash rate out of these this chip. In this case, you know, the number 1 position is getting 3600, which is great. But this chip must have a higher than 12 megabyte cache in this case. So let's just click on there and see what we've got. 6 threads, 500, 600 per thread. That's really nice. That's also a 12 megabyte cache, so that's interesting. They're getting huge pages. What else do we have here? Yeah, so I'll have to look into that, because if their memory is showing 12 megs and mine is 2, I believe that's referring to the L3 cache, but they're getting much better numbers than I am. Let's go back to my terminal and see what I got as far as when I started this up, before I started the video. What did I have as far as huge pages? huge pages was supported. 1 gig pages was unavailable, even though I set it to true in config.json. And then you can see I've got all of the memory was allocated. And that's one critical piece. You need to make sure that all of your memory is allocated to XMRig that it needs, or else you're going to get a really terrible hash rate too. So anyway, let me know if you have experience with this. Let me know what you think. You know, that's just some feedback that I have for you regarding L3 cache and the MacBook Pro, and especially that Intel chip. So leave some comments below and be sure to like and subscribe. And thanks again for watching.